Okay, back to our wonderful drawing here. Just to understand, we have an Apache helicopter up here. That's kind of sad. We have it 1,000 feet over a building. Um, to be exact, I should say I could have been more precise because if I say 1,000 feet over the building, I'm really referring to here to the top of the building. But we're gonna just go with this to just for an example's sake. So it's really from here to the ground at 1,000 feet. Angle of depression was 48 degrees. We know from here to here is 90 degrees. So therefore we just go 90 minus 48 and we get 52 degrees, which would be this angle. And what we're trying to form is a right triangle, which we do have here. This is my tank out here. So now I have to use a little trig to figure out that missing side. Um, let's pull up my pen. Choose a different color. What we need to find is x, the distance from the building to the tank. Well, I believe this will be tangent. Why do I know this is tangent? Remember, is tangent is opposite over adjacent. How do I know that? I memorized it. One way to remember it is SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Sine opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent opposite over adjacent. And here I have the opposite side adjacent to this angle here. So now we're going to make a little equation and just solve it. So tangent, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. So tangent of 52 is equal to x over 1,000. And the way you solve this, several ways. I like to put this over 1, cross multiply. So I'm going to have tangent of 52, whatever in the world that is, times 1,000. And then equal to, well, 1 times x is just x. And that's your value, whatever that is. Put that in your calculator. And if we put that in our calculators, we get, what did I get? 1279.94 feet. And that's it so far. Okay, this next section, we're talking about trig identities. And as I go through these, remember these are I'm just giving you some of the types of problems. You need to make sure you go back and review everything, the material that was on your quiz and test for the final exam. But these are just a lot of the problems that will be on the final exam. So this will help you. Equivalent trig identities. If I'm looking at sine of 30 and I want it to find an equivalent statement, equivalent trig function that goes with sine of 30, one is going to be cosine of 90 minus 30, which happens to be cosine of 60. Put both of those in your calculator. They'll give you the same value. And it works both ways. So if you had cosine of something, it's equal to sine of 90 minus whatever that is. Okay. For tangent, there's a few. Tangent of 30 is equal to sine of 30 over cosine of 30, because tangent is equal to sine over cosine. Or they may be looking for 1 over tangent of 90 minus that value, which would be, in this case, 60. So all of these are all equivalent. And that's a few trig identities, so make sure you go back and study all the trig identities there to be more familiar with them. This is just some of the examples.